Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. Yes, this is episode, I'm going to say 26 of the Day In, Day Out podcast with my brother from another mother, Mr. Will Williamson. Yes, we were talking about a number of different things, but we're just seeing as he is based in the United States and I'm based in the UK, we're just basically talking about how COVID-19 has been affecting us on a personal level and how it's going on with some of our sort of personal experiences. But anyway, please enjoy this podcast. Hopefully, it's a subject matter which isn't too depressing, but nevertheless, enjoy the podcast. Let me know what you think, and yeah. I will speak to you soon. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Peace. Haha. Hello, my friends. Hello, my life warriors, wherever you are in the world. This is episode 26 of the Day In, Day Out podcast. We have a return of my brother from another mother, Mr. Willis Williams, over there in the bright, shiny star of New York State, upstate Poughkeepsie side. So, yes, how are you, my brother? How are you?
I'm doing good, brother man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, like we were chatting beforehand with regards to what's going on. You made mention of some guy who basically had bought a whole heap of masks and was hoarding them over in the States. Yeah, what
Yes,
happened
I
to him?
will touch that in a second, but do you know that this summer will be 25 years since we've met?
Oh my,
Yep.
oh yeah, because
Fresh air fun,
yeah,
yeah. So
oh
basically
God,
in
yes.
June, so in 2 months,
I've known you for a
yeah,
quarter of a century. Thank God.
5 years. Damn, that flew
Yeah,
by quick.
yeah, because I remember seeing a post saying 25 years for Bad Boys. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know
yes.
that shit. I mean, both of us didn't have any gray whatsoever.
Well, look, that
Young and sexy, the ladies
as you can see, I've got my lockdown beard growing in as well. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
funny. I'm probably the only person of my friends that are in lockdown that doesn't have the big, like, no flight list beard, where it's just all super long. I can get on planes because my beard is short.
yeah,
Um, so this guy in Brooklyn, he
yeah,
got raided a couple of days ago, sometime last week. This guy had over 33,000 masks and gloves and gowns that we've had a shortage of this stuff, especially in
yeah,
all the hospitals in New York City. And this jackass, a whole bunch of stuff, and he was selling everything at up to 700% above cost. So this guy was just, I mean, you want to talk about price gouging? He's selling this
yeah,
stuff, this essential stuff that we need because New York's to this whole thing in the United States. And he got raided. And there's a shortage everywhere. You got a
yeah,
whole bunch of people that are making masks.
mm,
There's companies. I have a friend that works for a 3D printing company, and they're printing face shield masks, and they're doing something right now. It's like you send in $20 to donate for the cost of a mask that they'll make and give to a healthcare professional and stuff like that. I mean, it's just there's a shortage everywhere.
yeah.
Try to buy a mask on Amazon. See how long you got to
Mm.
wait at least like June before it even gets in stock.
Yeah, I don't like this is the thing. I don't get that. You know what I mean? Look, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, we live in a capitalist society, but like this is the whole thing. One of the this type of situation isn't one of those things where you should be like, I must all out gain as much profit from it as possible because it's just wrong in many a way. It's wrong, fundamentally wrong. I remember there was this guy, I can't remember which state he was in, but I think him and his brother brought up a whole heap of like hand sanitizers and like basically everything you could possibly need during this as well. I think he had here like his Amazon and everything like that taken away from him because he was being
Oh
a
yeah,
jackass too. I can't remember his name, but it's
I
like,
can't remember either. He was hoarding. I don't remember if he was a price
yeah,
casual, but he was hoarding. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to donate it." I'm like, "Yeah, you're going to donate it because you got busted,
yeah,
jackass." Why? Um, yeah, it's just crazy. There's a local gas station near me, and you know about the shortage of toilet paper.
mm,
So there's a gas station across the street from Marist College, and they are selling individual rolls of toilet paper for almost $3 a piece. You go to a normal store, you get a roll, it's like 99 cents. So yeah, they're
yeah,
just gouging everywhere. And I don't
yeah,
understand how these guys think, no one's gonna find out.
mm,
Just don't know.
yeah, yeah. You know what? It's not even a case of no one finding out. When people do find out, and like when everything calms down, because eventually, like it's gonna go back to normal. It's gonna be like, yeah, I remember what you were doing during this time. I
Yeah,
remember how you were during this time. Were you
right.
helpful? No, you tried to take advantage of your fellow human being. So, yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
I mean,
like,
I don't know if it's a worldwide thing, but definitely in the United States,
uh, like,
9/11, and people were selling photos on the streets of Manhattan mere days after the towers fell. Color photos of the plane hitting the North Tower, the explosion and everything. And just like selling these photos on the street.
yeah, no,
You
like,
know?
yeah, no, like, you know what? This is the thing. I think you're gonna always find scumbaggery wherever you are in the world, man.
Oh
Like
yeah,
this, and like this is the thing. Like one of the things which has happened a couple of times over here now. They've we've come outside to, like, you know what I mean, clap for the health workers in the
yeah,
NHS to show our
yeah. We're doing that
appreciation.
too.
Yeah, which, you know what I mean. It's one of those things. It's not much. You can't. It's not much, and by all means, they need. They should have had a lot more, like, sort of gratitude shown to them over the course of the years. But it's a little gesture at this present time to go, yeah, thank you. And there are, like, more and more sort of good things happening out there, you know. So
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, we're watching the news constantly and everything, and it's weird. You'll see reporters go into a hospital
mm,
interviewing medical staff, and the reporters have safer equipment on than the medical staff. The medical staff. I mean, there's some hospitals in the city where they don't have gowns and they're wearing garbage bags, to protect themselves. So it's kind of interesting when you see an interview and you see a reporter that's kind of like quality gown and
mm,
the face shield and everything, and they're super protected in the gloves, and then they're talking to the person that's actually on the front lines in the hospitals, in the ERs and the ICUs. They're wearing a garbage bag and like a bandana scarf over their face
mm.
because you got jackasses like this clown in Brooklyn hoarding everything.
Yeah, no, no. Like this is the thing. Like, hopefully, as each sort of day, week goes by, they're getting their acts together a lot more, because, like, yeah, over here, yeah, it was a slow start, but things seem to be going the right way when it comes to the healthcare professionals who are actually seeing to many of the sick out there. But it's one of those things. There's always going to be a little bit more that we can do, and there's always going to be, like, some, unfortunately, shortfall. Fingers crossed. By the time, like, that sort of peak would, like, smooth out, and then, yeah, we'll be overly prepared, so no one will, like, we won't have to lose any more sort of health workers. To my knowledge, there's been about 3 or 4 health workers which have lost their lives due to this. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah, I don't know about yourself.
I can't even every day. Governor does, every day around 11 a.m. He does a kind of an hour press thing, just giving us an update. Because basically we're hit the hardest in the country, and every day, like, the death total is just. I think in the U.S. Don't quote me on this because it changes constantly.
Mm.
And I know that there's more people that have died than on 9/11, so it's definitely close to 4,000 deaths in the U.S. so far. I do know this. If we take it a step further, there African Americans are getting hit with the coronavirus a lot more. It's basically because, talk about inner cities, more denser population and stuff. But like, you'll have a state, and I can't remember exactly. I'm going to say it's Chicago. Okay, it's not a state, it's a city. But I think Chicago, for example, I think, well, let's throw Chicago out of the mix. I can't remember the exact state, but you got cases where like there's an area where 40% of that area is African American, but 70% of the cases in the whole area are African American.
Yeah.
So think about it, you got like 40% in the state, and it's like, yeah, you got 40% that are black, 60% that are everything else, but at the same time, 70% of the total cases in the state are black people. And it's definitely, in the beginning, it's like, oh, it's just affecting old people, whatever. Now it's definitely hitting everyone, especially, because you think about African Americans, the pre-existing conditions, like high blood pressure, diabetes, stuff like that, stuff that we are akin to here, generationally or just culturally, whatever way you want to take it. But it's definitely affecting a lot of people of color here.
Yeah.
So it's hard, if like say a typical like Bronx apartment, maybe you got like 5 family members living in your apartment, and one person gets sick, and you're in a tiny apartment. You're supposed to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Where are you going to self-isolate if you're in like a 2-bedroom apartment? It's like 5 people. Where the hell are you going?
Yeah, no.
Sleep in a closet for 2 weeks?
Yeah. Like one of no, this is the thing. What was I watching? I think, it was on the Philip DeFranco show. Like that's where I heard that statistic about how it's disproportionately affecting African American families over in the States. Now, that because underlying like previous health conditions, like living conditions, basically type of work that people can do. Like, put it this way, I'm over here in the UK. Like my job is to sell things on the telephone. Like, so I just need a laptop. If I've got a VoIP connection, I don't need to be in the office. Before I was furloughed, but right now, if I was working, say, in a supermarket or construction or like some other type of job where I had to be out there, it just increases my risk. Plus, when you're talking about living in an apartment, it's like 2 different worlds. If you live in an apartment or if you live in a house with a garden, it's like night and day. And this is like in the UK right now, because they like might put on tighter restrict. They were talking over the weekends, they might cut exercise out, so no one's allowed out to exercise. But if you've got a garden or a large garden, that's not going to really affect you, because you can be outside and you could do other things to exercise. But
you're probably hurting because you can't go to the weight room. You're probably crying yourself to sleep every night.
What was that? What was that?
I said you're probably hurting because you can't go to the weight room. You're probably crying yourself to sleep every night.
Don't you start with me, man. Don't you start with me.
Dreams, you're just like doing bench presses.
Look, I've got myself a kettlebell. I'm okay.
I got a kettlebell, just like,
yeah. Shut up. Okay.
Yeah, but think about it. Like, okay, so it's all these little things no one's thinking about. I'm a member of a gym. I can't go to a gym, obviously, so are they going to refund me my membership dues back? It's like, you don't know. I mean, there's all these little things. Like, I'll give you an example. A lot of actors right now, they have, memberships to different casting websites. So you usually pay, and you're paying basically so you can submit to roles and everything. A lot of the websites are waiving fees or stuff like that because, if you're paying $18 a month for a service that you can't use, what's the point? But it should just go across the spectrum. Anything that you paid membership for, it should be waived or at least postponed or something. Like if you got loans, for example, if you have an auto loan, who's to say you can't call? Like I have a Hyundai, so let's say I can't call Hyundai Finance and say, hey, I think I need a break on my payments because I can't leave the house to, do what I got to do. So, I mean, there's way, if you think about it, if you look at all your expenses, all your finances, there's probably some things that you can contact on an individual basis and say, look, here's the deal.
Mm.
Stop taking my money right now. Okay. Your office is closed, so you have no service for me. Give me my money back. I mean,
No, like this is the thing. The two gyms I'm a member of, that basically they've suspended taking any payments until they're like back up and running, because right now no one can use them. Like they're not like no one's like, because if they weren't going to do that, they'll just get a whole heap of cancellations like that in a heartbeat, and then trying to restart that again is going to be, I would say, painful for them. But I think I think many organizations, I think they are adapting to it, and like, you know what I mean, they are offering breaks to like a number of people over here. I think they should do that over in the States as well, because
I
right
think so.
now,
I think it's just typical stuff you hear from red
mm,
tape. Just figure it out. Let me ask you a question. How did you feel when you found out Prince Charles got positive? I mean,
no,
is that affecting the culture over there? I mean, it's like,
uh, it's a
I mean, plus your
case,
prime minister too.
yeah. With regards to Prince Charles getting it, like it's one of those things where um, I would have been more surprised if he didn't get it, if you get what I mean, because he's interacting with so many people. Like, and like it's going to be in situations where it's going to be not an open air situation. It's always going to be in a building. It's either going to have lots of recycled air, and he has to talk to people like pretty much like, yeah, less than like about 2 feet apart. Yeah, I would have been very surprised if he didn't get it. Same thing with like Boris Johnson. Like Boris Johnson, like he were like, I remember him in a press conference where he was like, yes, I went to a hospital and I was shaking everyone's hands and everything like this. So you're kind of like going, Boris, maybe don't shake people's hands. Like people would understand if, you know what I mean, you were like, yeah,
It's
hi,
like at least stop
keep
giving
like, yeah,
hugs.
yeah, keep 4 feet away from me. I've got to run the country. But like the whole thing is with Boris going into hospital with like basically being put on an intensive care unit where they're keeping an eye on him. Like at this moment in time, they haven't got him. Like from what I've heard, they haven't got him on a ventilator or anything like that. They just got him there just in case, because he's the prime minister. He's like, you know what I mean? So if they wanted him in a place where if anything does go wrong, he can get immediate treatment for that. So right now it's just precautionary. So with Charles, he wasn't going to really affect anything. With Boris Johnson, because there's been there's a sort of clean handover right now. It's
Right.
just business as usual. If Johnson takes a turn for the worse, it might affect him, and like this is purely speculation on my part. It might affect how long they might do the lockdown for. Where like I think it should be coming to an end in something like 10 days or so. It might extend it for a little bit longer just in case. I can't see people, I can't see shops and stuff being open on the regular.
Well, are your streets empty and stuff? Like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen video and photos of like Times Square and
Oh God.
Manhattan, and how it's just like streets deserted. You know what it looks like? It looks like that part in The Devil's Advocate
Oh yeah.
after Sarah dies and Keanu
Mm.
Reeves put
Oh
on this
yeah.
deserted
Totally.
street. It's
Oh
like the
no.
first 5 minutes of Vanilla Sky in like Times Square, and Tom Cruise is running, and it's like no one around. That's
Oh
what it's like. It's
um
crazy.
yeah, no, I was doing my run yesterday, like, and this were I was must have been around about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went down Oxford Street. Oxford Street is like the busiest shopping street in London. You go there, it's Oxford Street, Regent Street. It's always packed, tons and tons of people. I went running down that street. It was like me running down like the streets of London around about like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning during the summer. There was hardly anyone there. There was less people, which would be there like on a weekend. It was just like, yeah, practically empty. You just got cars, and that's about it. It's
Yeah,
mad.
this
Yeah.
social distancing. I mean, New York City, for example.
Mhm.
This is funny because it's New York City. New Yorkers, they're stubborn. New Yorkers aren't made to be cooped up in an apartment, especially if it's a nice day out. You go to some areas in the city, and there's like people just walking around, walking about, walking the dog, playing frisbee, whatever. If it's a nice day out, just hanging out in groups. They took down all of the basketball walls of every park in New York City because people were out playing ball.
Yeah. No, no,
I mean, it's just
yeah, no, but like this is the thing. Look,
we got to do better, New York.
no, look, the whole thing is like, I've been I've been on TikTok, and like I like watching the videos what come on there, and like they've got, I think it's Brazil or somewhere like that. Like you'll have everyone congregated, like large groups of people, and then all of a sudden, like everyone just runs. It's like the police pulls up, like take away chairs and stuff like this.
I saw
People
that
running the
video.
house, yeah.
I saw one of those. It's like six people, like six women or something, sitting on the sidewalk, and they just all run. I'm like, what the hell? Is there like a tidal
Yeah.
wave coming or something?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just see taking the chairs and putting them in the pickup.
Yeah. Like guy on the motorbike kicks one of the chairs. You're like, oh my God. I'm like, right. I'm like going, oh, like, look, I was just there. Oh, good God. Because like if the police rode up like that over here, I'd be like, what the hell do you think you're doing? But like, no, it was raw. Just like, yeah.
I mean, I went to the supermarket yesterday to pick up some stuff, and I saw maybe 5 or 6 employees sitting at a picnic table outside smoking, just chatting away, just all together like it's no big deal. I mean, some people are just not getting it. And the thing is that, according to yesterday, the pace of the infected and the deaths have actually slowed down in New York. But people are still. I mean, I live here, and I can go into one town and it's totally deserted, and then I just drive 6 minutes into the next town, and it looks like Central Park on an August afternoon. Everybody's just strolling along, riding bikes and shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on?
No.
I mean, you don't need to be like isolated totally, but at the same time, it's like, why are you walking in a group of like 7 people?
Yeah. Like some common sense needs to be displayed, because like, look, like, like there are times where like, I think it was because I've got a little bit more time on my hands. I was out on, like, I was doing a run on Friday, and like, yeah, I ran past a park Friday, Saturday, and like, yeah, there was a lot of people out there. Like it was a lot of people. And like, this is the thing, I live in an apartment. I understand why people need that sort of open space situation, but it was a lot of people. And like, this is when they were like threatening to go, yeah, no one exercising, none of this, and put on like more major restrictions. But like on the Sunday, like people were more considerate, but it did take literally the threat of, yeah, if you're out running, yeah, if you're out doing this, like if you're not going to a shop and back, we'll find you. It's like, we'll find you. They're not going to arrest you. They'll just basically, they'll throw so many fines at you, I imagine, where you just be like, okay, yeah, this is going to hurt. But because they're not going to want to put you in a freaking cell, especially something which is quite confined, because it makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean?
Then you got, I mean, the morgues in the city are running out of space. They have cooling trucks coming up from the south just to put bodies in.
Thank God.
Yeah, and then you got the hospitals like the Javits Center. They have probably 2,000 beds in there or something like that. So they've taken the whole Javits Center and made it kind of like an emergency thing. I'm sure you've seen the footage. Is that like hospital ship that's in the Hudson River and stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, just the thought of there's trucks in New York City that their sole purpose is just to store bodies
Yeah.
in a cooling unit because
Yeah.
the morgues are running out of space, because you can't have funerals.
No.
You can't. Um, it's just crazy. Think about it. If you got a loved one that passed, what the hell are you gonna do? You can't go to a funeral. You can't go to a wake. They're just sitting there. I don't even know if they're burying these bodies. I have no idea.
No.
Probably not, because the trucks.
No. And like, this is the thing. You heard, like, you hear these stories. You hear everything what's going on. Like, there you go. Like, I'm quite grateful I'm not in either Italy or Spain, which is like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
another
right.
bad place. And
Jeez.
like you're just hearing stories about what's going on there, and you're like, going, oh my God.
Yeah, you can't even go to the stores. You
Yeah,
can't.
no,
Just,
because it's such a nightmare right now. Uh,
yeah.
but this is the thing. I'm glad they're letting people out of Wuhan right now, because that shows
Right.
an inkling of hope. But like, this is the thing. Not that I just, when it comes to China and this, when it comes to figures, I'm kind of like going, can we trust you guys? And like, let's just say it like this. I kind of like go, okay, yeah, can we trust you guys? I would like to say yes, but my cautious side's like going, can't really trust you. Like, and like,
Yeah, there's
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of China hate going on around here. I mean, I've seen on Facebook. There's a lot of China hate in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's like, screw China, I can't trust them. But I got to go to Walmart and buy some stuff. I'm like, well,
Well, it's
if good luck going to a Walmart or Target and not finding any products from China.
yeah. It's like, yeah, it's all made in China.
Basically, it's cold cereal and oatmeal.
Yeah, yeah, like, it's all made in China. Like, the only thing I'm like concerned
Yeah,
about is when China like goes, yeah, these are our numbers. We only had 2,000 deaths in the whole of China, and you're kind
yeah.
of like
It's
go, you kind of look at him and go, really?
did you? Yeah, did you
Like,
really?
really? Like, you're talking about, this is where it kicked off. You didn't, like, you're the guys who first discover it. In any sort of normal situation, you're going to be the guys what take the heaviest hit. It's like, we got something new coming on. We're not too sure what it is. Oh, damn. Yeah, the cat's out of the bag. Because look at Italy. Look how this has wrecked Italy. You know what I mean? Just like, boom. I don't even know what numbers they're on. Like, over in the States, we're talking, how many in like New York State right now? Like, past? Yeah.
Oh, that it passed?
Yeah.
Jeez. I want to say probably over 2,300. I don't know. I mean, I could probably go and find out. It's climbing every day, but it's definitely in the thousands. So it's not an actual amount. And plus, also, New York's not really reporting how many people who have had it and actually recovered.
Yeah.
There's a significant number of people that have had it and they recovered.
Yeah.
But deaths are, I don't know. I don't even want to try to guess, because I know I might be off. But I know, and it's definitely split up. It's like New York City has the most, and then they split it up by the counties and everything. But yeah, New York City's pretty bad. I mean, Long Island is bad. Long Island's just like, forget it. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. And another thing, there's still a lot of people going to church.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you go back to how it spread in New York, it spread from a synagogue. So, I mean, church, that's a hard thing to tell people not to go to church. I mean, but at the same time, there are a lot of churches that are live streaming services. Like, my mindset is pretty simple. Unless your preacher or pastor has the power to resurrect people and cure HIV and cure cancer, if he's got power like that, then maybe I can understand you going to church. You want to be, whatever. If your pastor's got power like that, give him my number. Talk to me. Let's meet.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can. I know this is going to be hard. You can worship from home. You can do that. I mean, if you're a Christian, you probably got a Bible at home already. I got like 4 of them on my bookshelf right now. I got like 2 pastors in the family. But at the same time, I'm not going to church because
no,
it's
put this way, look, we're sitting here right now, like we're using Zoom, okay? Like the whole thing is like, okay, like if they, like a church can afford to get a package, which I'm on, which gives you access to doing this to 100 people. And if they wanted to go, like if they wanted to pay a little bit more, they can have access to 500 people. Now, if you've got some type of super church, yeah, I'm sure you can actually live stream it to many more people. You know what I mean?
Even from your website, which
Yeah.
would probably be easier. Or do a Facebook Live.
Yeah, there are many
Facebook Live
options.
free.
Yeah. But like the whole thing is like yeah, I've heard a couple of these ministers who've been like, yeah, blah blah blah, blah. There was this one minister who was like, yeah, we've got all the equipment to like basically cleanse the corona away from them. I was like going, wait, if you had equipment like that, you'd be making tens of millions right now, just sending it to hospitals, offices, anywhere, schools, airports, aircraft, anywhere. But they are being highly irresponsible and like doing this. And like, you know what? All they're doing is putting their congregation in danger. And I don't understand why these people are not actually like going, you know what? Look, just like, we'll do it this way. If you don't have the necessary equipment or whatnot to get to the service, like, you know what I mean? Like it, but if you've got a mobile phone, you should be able to, like, you know what I mean? Like, get through to it. There is
Let's be real here.
So many ways.
There are churches out there that they still want people to come in. I don't know who these churches are, but I'm sure. But you know why? Because it's kind of hard to pass cash through a webcam because of the offering points. I'm willing to put money that there are some churches that want you to come in because when they pass that plate around, they know they're going to get some change. It's kind of hard to stick $1 through this. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds shitty to say, but let's be honest here. I mean, that's what it is. There's some churches, like, you know, I mean, some churches, they're in it just to make bank, you know, and you got to really consider if there's a national crisis going on. And if you are a member of a church that's telling you you should just keep coming, you got to find another church.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
It's like, you might die, but thanks for the offering. Jesus loves you.
Yeah. Yeah. If you die, please remember, put us in your will. You know what I mean? It's like
tithes, make the tithes hot. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. But make sure you give your 10%.
There are some out there. Like I said, it's somebody's always capitalizing off of tragedy in this country. Probably the whole world, but it is definitely popping in this country.
Oh, no.
There's probably coronavirus. There's probably a dude on a corner right now selling coronavirus T-shirts. Do I have proof of this? No, but I'm willing to bet. Probably.
Well, you know what?
Like a concert T-shirt. It's got all the like cities and shit. It hit on the back.
You know what?
It's not funny, but I'm sure somebody's doing it.
What I would simply say is most probably not right now because most of those factories are all shut up and closed and no one can be there. But when life returns back to some type of normalcy, then it will come. Corona 19, like COVID-19, 2020, Corona this, like Corona World Tour. Like, you know what I mean? It'll come.
Corona World Tour.
Yeah. Trust me.
Meanwhile, I'm in the supermarket and I got my allergies hitting me and I'm like sniffing and stuff and sneezing and people probably looking at it like, he got the Rona. I'm like, I got allergies, man. I got allergies. It's finally warm now. I have allergies.
It's like people looking at it like, sure. Okay, yeah. That's like.
Then again, I'm going out in a mask. So, I mean, unless I do one of these things and sneeze. You know, I got the custom jammy. My friend Michelle made the custom jammy. You know, it's got a pocket here so you can put in filters, switch them out and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nicey nice. It's I mean, that's basically. You try to find a mask to buy. I'm gonna buy a couple of masks and send them to my sister and Pennsylvania because she can't find any. So I'm gonna buy a couple that my friend made and send them down because you can't find them anywhere unless you live in Brooklyn and you have 33,000 of these things and you're selling them at 700%.
No, man, no. That you see that.
That's someone that needs to go to jail for the rest of their lives. I'm sorry. I mean, it's
Well, it's just it's just like
how many people have gotten? I mean, you gotta. No one thinks about it because they think about the greed. They think about this guy has over 33,000 pieces of medical equipment that are vital to our hospitals and and nursing homes, and all these other facilities. How many deaths do you think he is second-handedly responsible for because of that?
Yeah.
No one thinks about this.
No, but like this whole thing, like when you're always going to get those type of people which have got so much self-interest about themselves. It's like, yeah, it's always going to be like, fuck my fellow man, fuck my fellow woman. Like, it's all about me. And like, yeah, right now I'm out to trying to make bank, profiteer from like everyone's like pain, grief, and potential loss by, withholding, not less if they get a premium, like life-saving equipment. And when you got people operating that level, you just, you kind of look at them, you got to go, right. It kind of reminds me, there's this story, like there was this Pulitzer awarded like photographer. He took there's a picture of this little girl who's like malnourished. This is like taken in Africa. I can't remember exactly where. It might be Sierra Leone. Malnourished, bent over, and in the background you see a vulture waiting, like looking at this girl, waiting for like her to die. Drop. Yeah. Now, guy takes the picture, and because he's late to catch his flight, gets in his car, drives off. Like, wins the Pulitzer Prize, and then in an interview when after he's got the prize and everything like this, like a reporter went, "So did you help the girl?" He goes, "No, I had to catch my flight." I'm like paraphrasing, and like the reporter went, "Yeah, on that day there was 2 vultures that day. One of them had a camera, and like basically, I think a few weeks after that he commits suicide because it's like don't get me wrong, there's always going to be someone who's out to trying to make profit from this, and like, you know what I mean, there's gonna but thankfully there are people which are doing good, like your friend Misha, who's making like all these masks, right? Like she's donating the vast majority to health workers, and then basically she's
donating her time and skills.
Yeah, because if I'm right, she's a dressmaker or costume designer, right?
Yeah, she works in costumes in a film. Yeah, she does tailoring, stuff like that. So
yeah. So she's doing a whole heap of good. So like, hopefully there's going to be more people out there, like, you know what I mean, doing the good deeds, what need to be done, and basically, you know what I mean, standing strong with our fellow, like together, not out by themselves, like not out to just like scrounge that coin or like just feed their self-interest. And like, you know what I mean, like seeing like some of the good which has gone on, it's like, you know, it is one of those situations which you kind of look at and go, yeah, like it makes me smile because there is hope out there. There is hope in like people doing the good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you talked about, like before we were on here, about your friends who are doing the face visors, and like, you know what I mean? Like there are like using 3D printers. Like also there was a chap doing that as well, doing like the whole 3D printers. I'm not too sure how they're like how they're funding it over here, but it's like a case of they're doing it, getting it done, and it's just helping rather than sort of having to wait like about 4 weeks, 8 weeks for a ship to come all the way from China, or like for it to be made or to be put on an aircraft, then shipped that way. You can just simply like take it from there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, definitely. But what I'd simply say is, yeah, we'll continue this. We'll continue this later. I know you've got time pressures on you, but yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to continue this discussion because after I see today's news, then I'll have real numbers to give you just to get an idea. It's just talk about the scale of how it's affecting you. Because obviously, they're showing, okay, this is how it's affecting worldwide, but they're not
Mm.
showing us what countries, whatever. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
obviously it's US that are showing US, but I'm kind of curious to see how it's affecting you guys over there. So I'll
Okay.
definitely come back with numbers.
No worries. No worries. Yeah, Will, thank you for your time today. We're going to continue
Love
this
you,
tomorrow.
man.
I love you too, bro.
My brother.
Yeah.
25 years, you crazy bastard. We'll continue this.
25 years. Yes. And we'll do part 2 tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Say hello
Peace.
to everyone.
I will.
Hey. All right. Peace to you. Much love to you. Stay well, stay safe, and be awesome. Hey. Bye-bye. Yes. Hello, my friends, my life warriors. Yesterday, we had to cut things short a little because, yes, time got away from us and we started a little bit later than we should. But we're here, part 2. We've been talking about the old COVID-19, Monsieur Coronavirus. And yes, like yesterday, we were just basically chewing the fat. We're by all means, we are no experts about this thing whatsoever, but yeah, power of the internet. Hopefully we'll be able to go through some numbers as well and just basically talk about what we're going through. Me being on furlough over here in the UK, and yeah, my brother in the United States, and with how things are going with him currently.
Yeah. It's thanks for having me back. It's great to be back. My brother.
It's a pleasure.
It's New York. I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy. I think the numbers in the U.S. 14,000 dead, over 14,000. So, yeah, you might want to double check it. But I think that's what it is. Governor Cuomo hasn't gotten on TV yet. He's been getting on TV every day. Giving us a breakdown, which is a lot more informative than other people who shall remain nameless who get on TV and ramble. I mean, at least when Cuomo is done, we get numbers, we get facts. So, plus it's New York. He's got to, tell it like it is. Basically, it's an old farm saying, an old Southern saying that you got to put it where the goats can get it. So that's what he's doing. He's breaking it down, making it simple, and getting to the root of the information. And that's basically what he's doing.
Yeah. Talking about New York right now, it's saying like this is information from Bing, basically their COVID-19 tracker. 149,000 cases, 389, 127,209 cases active, recovered 15,911, and fatalities, it's saying 6,296, 69, excuse me. But
it's almost double, probably close to double of how many people died in New York on 9/11. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's 6,269 more deaths than should be happening.
Yeah,
so should be a lot.
And like this is the thing. Like just looking at the map,
it's spread out. Yeah,
it's spread out, but it is like by the size of the circle, which I think is representative of the number of cases. It's by all means the biggest circle is like New York, like basically New York State.
Yeah.
And basically New Jersey next to it's got 47,000. Massachusetts 16, Pennsylvania 16,000. So New York City, New York State, and I think that's just a lion's share of that's just coming from New York City. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
it's
quite
a lot.
yeah.
And you think about the people that are at risk. I mean, New York City's got a lot of hospitals, a lot of healthcare workers,
Mm,
and you know, it's people are weird, you know, because you got a lot of people. I don't understand why the mass transit is going on. I don't understand why the trains are still running and stuff like that. How are
mm,
these health workers supposed to get back and forth to work? That's why it's still running. What are you gonna do? Fly? I mean,
yeah.
New York City is big. It's very common that say you live in Queens and you're working at like the Veterans Hospital in the Bronx, or you live in Brooklyn and you work in Manhattan, or vice versa. That's how it is. So, you know, it's bad enough that you got to be on a train to commute anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. And then on top of that, having to deal with this.
Mm,
So it's a lot. You got
yeah.
to give the healthcare workers a lot of credit. You know,
Mm,
they are in front of this, probably have the least amount of protection. Like we talked about yesterday, we know they're not getting enough supplies.
yeah.
So they're risking their lives to save our lives.
Mm.
And I think they don't get enough appreciation. So,
Yeah, I think also some people don't understand how spread out New York is. That because this is the thing, like if I didn't go to New York, I'll just understand New York as Manhattan, if you get what I mean. Like they're not thinking about the Bronx, Queens, you know what I mean, the actual five boroughs
or
themselves.
even upstate New York,
Oh
beyond
yeah,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
no, no, no. But it's like so spread out. So trying to travel from one part of the city to the other, especially if you're using the subway system, it's going to take time. It's like London. London's a very spread out city. You can't, like people go, oh yeah, I'm going to just go from one part of London to the other. That can be an hour on the tube if everything's smooth or longer. You know, it's
Right.
mad.
Well, yeah, I mean, getting around the city is pretty hard. It's kind of, last year I kind of realized because when 45 got in office, I don't even use his name. I just call him 45. 45 got in office, you know, being a New Yorker, he's in the city and ties stuff
Mm.
up. And I always used to make fun of all those disaster movies or monster movies where people are stuck in Manhattan. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why can't you just get out of the city, you dumbass? And then I try to get out of the city just for normal circumstances, and I'm just sitting in the car like, all right, well, I can't really make fun of these people anymore. You
Oh,
know, normally it takes 20 minutes to get out of Manhattan. It's like an hour and 10 minutes later. I'm still like, yeah,
yeah. Oh
yeah,
God, I can
yeah,
imagine.
exactly. So I don't make fun of people getting stuck in cars in the city anymore. On foot, your ass can run. You can still run, but you know,
Well, yeah,
like at a
like
red light, you know,
yeah, but like every time I think about yeah, if you're stuck in traffic in New York and you need to get out there in a hurry, the one film what sort of ruined that sort of thoughts to me is Independence Day.
yeah,
Yeah,
Independence
it's
Day. Yep. Cloverfield, definitely. I mean,
oh
if
God, yeah.
it's just that whole time I watched that film, like, why can't I at least get to the Bronx or Brooklyn or something? What the hell is wrong with
Mm,
y'all? You know,
mm-mm,
I don't
no,
know, man. I don't know.
no. Like, but with yourself, like yeah, your employment situation that's like changed now. You're not.
Yeah, I'm not working. Um, and I'm not working. You know, I was a digital marketing strategist, so I'm not working.
Mm,
And, you know, and I'm also act part time, and that shut down definitely. So, I mean, by the time everything shut down, you know, I just did an audition for a film, and I put in for 2 or 3 TV shows, like 5 or 6 movies or whatever, because it's kind
mm,
of like, you know, it's almost like a dating type of thing. It's like, oh, there's like 50 ladies I'd like to meet. And you just put it all in there, and then you just hope that you back. One of them's like, hey, she's interested. You know, that's kind of how
yeah.
it is. So you just kind of blanket the whole thing. So, you know, I was kind of rocking and rolling before the shutdown. I just finished working on a movie. I was working on a TV pilot.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, quick story, I was working on a pilot. They were shooting in Jersey City. And it was a Thursday. And basically, it's a show called Echo. It's coming out on NBC. It's like a time travel type thing. And
Right.
they were shooting a pilot. So about 10:20 in the morning, there's all this buzz all over the set. Like, what's going on? So I talked to one of the other actors, and I'm like, oh yeah, we just heard that Law and Order SVU shut down production and sent everyone home because of Corona.
Mm.
They're not saying that someone had corona. They're just saying that people, I guess, were so anxious that they
Yeah.
just NBC wanted to take precautions and shut it down. So I'm thinking, okay, so NBC shut down. I mean, NBC shut down SVU
It's a
in the
big
middle
deal.
of the day filming. That's a big deal. So then I'm
Mm.
thinking, hey, this show is on NBC.
Mm. It's like, yeah.
This is like
No,
it's like they shut down SVU. You
yeah.
know this pilot's getting shut down. This
Oh,
brand new
yeah.
show is getting
No.
shut down. Literally the next day, press release, NBC shuts down production on 35,
Mm.
shows. And then maybe 3 days later, Netflix ceases all production and everything
Yeah.
literally shut down.
Yeah. No, but that's the weird thing about it. Like, basically, like, okay, watching like Netflix and stuff like this, you're getting your shows coming through and everything like this. But when it's like the movies and the films and stuff like this, like, yeah, there's stuff out there, but it's it's dried up quite quickly if you think
Yeah,
about it. It
I'm
just
sure there
like,
were a lot of
yeah,
productions that are like, look, man, we only got like 4 or 5 days left to shoot this movie. Let's try to stretch it out. And it just shut it down,
yeah,
And then in my situation, literally, we wrapped the movie on a Monday. I'm
mm,
working on this pilot on a Thursday, and then Hollywood basically shut down the following Monday. So I don't even know when our movie's coming out. I got no idea. Nobody has a timetable of anything.
yeah,
So, and you got a whole bunch of actors. They just announced yesterday that Broadway shut down till August. So, if you're trying to see Jagged Little Pill, you better hold on to that ticket. You're gonna have to wait a
mm,
while. Mean Girls, August. Everything is
yeah,
shut down basically to August. So that's why you got a lot of Broadway performers and singers. They're doing all these like live concerts on Instagram.
yeah,
So it's pretty cool. I mean, between Instagram and YouTube, you have a lot of people. I mean, I did a virtual acting class 2 days ago because now you're sitting around, you're not doing anything. So now all
mm,
of a sudden, there's all these like workshops for like finding an agent, reading a script,
yeah.
studying scenes, singing, voiceover. Like it's like just blew up, for lack of a better phrase. So now it's all over the place. So you can be stuck at home and still find some way to, whatever. But it doesn't equal being on set.
I know it doesn't equal being on set, but like I was having a conversation earlier today with my boy Dean, and like I was like, right, and I've said to him like because he does photography, he does lots of headshots right now, you know what I mean? By by the very nature of this, just like yourself, he can't do it because everyone's basically either like shut down, praying, scared, and they're not really going to do anything like that. Not meant to be outside at all, if you get what I mean. Just
Yeah,
shops and exercise here in the UK.
right.
But when I said to him, this is an excellent opportunity to like sharpen up skills and everything like this. If you're not sick or anything like this, this is a perfect time to take this and just like up your skills, do what you need to, like, you know what I mean? Bring just basically catch up with things which you haven't like been able to catch up because you're in such a rush in general
Yeah,
life, you know?
yeah. I think once everything starts back up, it's just gonna be an explosion
Mm,
of stuff going on. Just because everybody's chomping at the bit. Like, I just want to get back to work. I just want to get back to work. Just being cooped up. Depending on where you are in the United States, you're either in the house, but you can kind of leave,
yeah.
or you're in the house and you can't really go anywhere. So it depends. And there's probably, I don't know. It's interesting because I think about what if you live alone,
Yeah.
and you're just by yourself. What's that like?
Oh
You know?
God. Oh, I wouldn't want to know.
Yeah.
That would be tough. That'd be very tough, you know?
Yeah. On the
Uh,
flip side, I got a 13-year-old and 11-year-old. They drive me crazy. So, so, it's like, where's the balance? It's like my
uh,
son's playing like NBA 2K20. I'm like, bro, you got a microphone on. You don't need to yell. You don't need to yell. The microphone's literally in front of your lips. Like, you can talk at a normal voice, and your friends will hear you. It's like, it's not a megaphone. Just chill out. I'm like, I'm sorry, your boy missed that jump shot, but stop yelling. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I don't think you're. Look, yeah, no, doesn't
But
matter. Honestly.
the kids have not been outside in almost 3 weeks.
Oh
So
boy.
it's a cabin fever. My boy wants to be at the park shooting
Mm.
jumpers, and just now he's yelling in the microphone.
Well,
So,
yeah. Is there space around yours to put up a basketball net so you can do some jump shots near the house?
yeah, I mean, we can go to the park, just
Mm.
whatever. But it's okay. Let's say me and him go to the park, and then a couple other people come to the park.
Yeah.
Then what? Leave? Do we stay? Do we like, yo, man, we were here first? I mean, it's just, and then what if the cops roll through? They're like, yo, there's like 6 people at the park. I mean, you just don't know.
Mm.
And plus, I mean, I'm black, so it's just out in public. They're probably gonna think I'm dealing pot or something like that. I'm kidding. I don't know.
What the hell you got?
Talk about working. I gotta keep my hustle on. Like, you need that smoke? You need that smoke?
What the?
Come on, man. Come on. I'm a black man in New York. I am a stereotype magnet. Just whatever. Like, I know you're not Jamaican, but where can I get that smoke? I mean, it's crazy.
Oh dear.
So,
Yeah. No.
What are the supermarkets like over there? How's that going?
No, you know what? The supermarkets around here, like, it varies from company to company actually, because we've got our big two, which is like Tesco's, Sainsbury's. They seem to be fine. Then you've got like next tier. Well, you've got your Marks and Spencers, which is like kind of a high end sort of, kind of like Whole Foods equivalent.
Okay.
They seem to be fine. Places like the Co-op. I don't know if it's our particular co-op in our particular area, but they seem to really just be, their supply line doesn't seem to be that good. But all of the other major supermarkets, they're fine. There's food in them. There's plenty of food.
Do you
Toilet
have
paper.
limits? Do they have
Um,
limits and stuff? Like, you can only take 2 of these or 3 of these and stuff?
Had limits at one point where you only could have 3 of one item. You weren't allowed to sort of like, go, okay, I want all the freaking chicken or anything like this, or I want all the steak or anything like that, which quite a lot of people, like, there were people doing that, and like, you know what I mean? It was bonkers.
Right.
But what they're doing right now is they're restricting the number of people going in to the supermarket. So, like, so they'll let in, say, 30 people in a time for a supermarket which is designed to take maybe 200 people, no problem. So like they're sort of like, so they're keeping it spread out, so there's no sort of like people clumped together.
Okay.
And so you have to queue outside, like on average day, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, if that. A day like today, when I like finished my run, like there were like the queues are very long because tomorrow here in the UK it's a public holiday for Easter, Good Friday.
Okay.
So the supermarkets will be open tomorrow, Saturday, closed on Sunday, and back open on Monday. So yeah, the supermarkets, I've got to say, haven't been that bad. Stuff isn't.
We haven't really had any, restrictions of people being in the supermarket. But in the family, I'm the one going out to the supermarket, so I see all the stuff. I mean, the first weekend when stuff really got nuts, there was no bleach, there was no paper towels, there was no sanitary wipes, like antibacterial wipes.
Yeah.
Definitely no toilet paper. And then, bottled water's gone, and then milk, and then eggs and bread and chicken and stuff. Now everything basically has signs. You can only take 2 of these, 3 of these, but nobody listens. I mean, you'll see a sign that says, please take 2 boxes of, facial tissue. And
Yeah.
see a shopping cart go by, there's like 9 boxes in there. But that's basically how it is. They did mark spots on the floor to keep people separate away by 6 feet. Basically, they're basing it on 2 shopping cart lengths.
Yeah.
So when you go and check out, You go up to the register. There's like a big plastic plexiglass face shield. There's a spot for you to stand on, and then if you're waiting in line, there's a spot at least a good 6 feet away where you stand here. And basically you're just doing that. There are still people that invade the personal space. It has to be 6 feet, and you got someone literally, they're like, looking at you like you're sharing a workbook or something like that, just kind of hovering all over you, and just like, come on, man, back up.
Yeah.
And it's weird because it's the people that aren't wearing the masks, they're not wearing the gloves and stuff like that. So it doesn't happen a lot, but I know this is going to sound weird, so I hope this doesn't come out wrong, but most of the people that are doing it are senior citizens.
Yeah.
So,
No, but like this is the thing. Mia mentioned this yesterday, but like if I'm out running or like just basically walk down the street, like there are two types of people now. People who actually physically cross the road or like do everything in their power to get out of your way, like by stepping even into the road. And there's people which are just like, oh, yeah, it's another day. It's another beautiful day. Like no concerns, no worries about it at all, which I find is quite strange. It's just like, okay. So you kind of like find yourself when, like, if you're walking down the street and someone's like blocking the like pavement, you want to like be like, just get out of the way, stand to one side.
right.
Don't like, hey, it's weird.
Yeah, or you get the people walking down the street and just kind of instantly move out of your way. But that could be just typical New York right there. That could be a typical day. Just got a couple walking down the street, like, oh, there's a brother walking the other way. They just cross the street. So it's like, used to it. So just like, all right, But yeah, it's really nuts. I got a friend who lives in LA, and LA, when there's mountains and stuff, and there's all these like hiking trails and stuff, they close down all the trails because they don't want people hiking on the trails because people hiking or they're running or whatever, and they're just still next to people. They're passing them by or just walking or whatever. So they close down hiking trails. Didn't know. That's just crazy.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Look, I do understand they want people to stay home, and yeah, I agree with that. People like they should just go to the shops or do their daily exercise. The time when I sort of like kind of look at it and go, yeah, they want to stop people exercising, and I'll be like, yeah, like like people who are doing their daily exercise, especially if they're in an apartment building, like where they got no access to a garden, it's just sometimes to have a little bit of a mental break for just being in the house, if you get what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
which I think is very much needed in this time because there's only so much Netflix you can watch, only so much Disney Channel you can watch before you like start to go, yeah, I need to get out, get some space, do something else. Like, what I mean?
I don't want to be that guy, but let's be honest, by the time November and December rolls around, there's gonna be a hell of a lot of babies on the planet. Like, I said it.
Well,
Talk about, hey girl, I'm tired of watching Netflix. You got nothing to do. Yeah.
Well,
That's it. It's just gonna be an explosion. There'll be Scorpios all over the place. Scorpios taking over, man. It's gonna be like 5 billion, just brand new.
No, you know
Scorpios
what?
taking over.
All I'll simply say to you is it's going to still be Libra. That's what it's going to be. Like all it's going to lead to is October birthday season. That's going to be more packed. That's all.
There's a lot of fall babies running around. Oh my gosh. People got nothing to do.
What's your name, kid? COVID. Oh, son.
yeah, COVID Johnson. Yeah. Then it's messing up cuffing season. Do you have cuffing season over there?
What is cuffing season?
Cuffing.
What is cuffing season?
Just explaining this is like cracks me up. Cuffing season is a time, like around winter, where, and this is true. It is true. Where single people purposely get into relationships during the winter months because it's cold out. You can't go out. There's people that you have people that are outdoorsy people that like to go camping, they like to go hiking, they like to go climbing and all stuff. They like to be outside all the time. So when you're in New York and it's like 9 degrees out, you know, nobody's really doing that. So there are actually people that get into relationships because they have nothing to do during the winter months because they're so outdoorsy and dead serious. And it's called cuffing season. And then what happens when springtime rolls around, you know, it's like, you know, we've been together for like 3 months, but you know, like, yeah, it's time to move on, bro. You know, and that's how it is. Like, Google it, cuffing, cuffing, cuffing season. It is real. So think about it. This is like an extended cuffing season for people because they're like, I can't get out. I can't get out. So, you know, typical cuffing season relationship lasts for 3 months. It's all stretched for 6 months now and stuff. I'm telling you, look it up. Look it up.
I will.
When it's getting cold around these parts, that's when cuffing season.
Cuffing season. So basically, right. So I can see this being 10 years in the future. How did you and Dad get together, Mom? Well, it was an extended cuffing season down to like the global pandemic, what was happening at the time.
I was planning to date your dad for like
3 months.
For December and January, and then, you know, April came around and we're still together. Can't go outside.
Yeah, by the time we were allowed outside, it was winter time again.
The quarantine is real. The quarantine is real. It's like when you go outside and it's sunlight out. The sun feels different when you know it's illegal to be outside.
Yes. I'm loving it.
Isn't everything more exciting? There's a crime element to it. Think about it. It's like, I'm not supposed to be outside, but I'm taking it to the garbage. You know, you feel like you're a criminal mastermind. You know, you're breaking the law.
Oh, you know what? I've got to say, the last couple of days, I've seen police officers out and about, waiting to go into supermarkets, and they seem that a little bit happier. It's like, because no one's out and about doing anything. It's just like,
there are a lot of more cops out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. It's like it's a whole crime wave. And the weird thing is that we know it's going to get worse when it comes to the virus. And my allergies kill me. I don't have the virus. I just have allergies. Oh, I feel like Al Pacino and Scarface. I'm like, hey, give me the yayo. Give me the yayo. I shoot you, man. I kill you with my machine gun. So the cops are just out in full force. And I don't know if they're going to get more tickets and stuff like that. It's just weird. It's just cops are just out there. I mean, normally when you see cops around here, a lot, you know, towards the end of the month, they got quotas and stuff, but they're just out and about, you know, and gas is super cheap now. I think it's going to get to a point where gas is going to be as cheap as it was. I mean, I haven't seen gas this cheap right now since I was in college. You know, that's late 90s, bro. I mean, it's like, what? Like, really? And it's funny because nobody's going anywhere, but the gas is so damn cheap. I mean, you might as well fill up your tank in case you got to escape to Canada or something. So no.
Like, what you need to do is fill up your tank and then get yourself like a big tank to fill that up so you can, like, you know what I mean? When prices return back to normal, present day, apart from, like, you can be like, okay, COVID-19 has helped fill my tank up a little bit cheaper. So, you know what I mean?
I do have some concerns because we haven't hit, you know, the peak of this virus yet. And people are being really nice to each other. I mean, there's a lot of groups of people I know, you know, they're making dinners for people, you know, they're giving people, I mean, I gave people like toilet paper and stuff, money and everything and stuff. But you know, it's going to get to that point where it's like riot central. Like, when is that point happening? Where all of a sudden because people do dumb shit when they're desperate. And it's not desperate yet, but desperate's going to come.
Well, you know what? Like, it's like all those kids who were down in Miami, like during their spring break. Like, yeah. Like, I'm not gonna let Corona stop my like spring break. It's my birthday. Just out, and it's like, and like you listen to him, you go, okay. I don't like.
Just think of those kids in the beach, and I think of the mayor and Jaws talking about we're gonna be open for the 4th of July. You know?
Yeah. And like,
that's what I think, man. It's like close down the beaches. It's like and it's funny because I've talked to a couple people from Florida. It's like, it's not our fault. Like, you know, your government could close the beaches, and then these people won't come here and probably get the virus and then go back to like Montana or like
Yeah.
Illinois or Wisconsin or wherever the hell they came from. It's
Yeah.
just spreading it. I can guarantee you. You look at that map again and see how there's cases all over the country. I'm sure there are a few cases that happened because someone went to spring break.
Oh yeah.
And you know how it is. It's youth. They're invincible and stuff like
Well,
that.
yeah.
College kids are getting sick. Babies are dying from this thing. I mean, it's and everything is so like, especially with the government and stuff. It's just so whatever. I mean, it's a disease. It's a virus. It's not acting. It's not coming up to you like, are you a Democrat or Republican? Oh, you're Republican? You sick. I mean, it's not doing that. Everybody is getting sick no matter what. And just put the politics and bullshit aside. Let's try to like solve this shit. I mean, it's always like, where did it come from? Where did it come from? Where did it come from? New York Times just posted an article last night that said that most of the cases in New York did not originate from China, originated from Europe.
Yeah.
This was New York Times last night. Now, because hate crimes in the city have spiked up, especially against Asians. I mean, it is spiked up. I saw a video yesterday. It was an Asian woman in Brooklyn taking out her garbage outside her brownstone, and some dude just like was hiding. It's all caught on camera, and was hiding and just came around and threw acid in her face and ran off.
What?
Yeah, it is nuts. I mean, if you're Asian in New York City, bless you, man, because it's how it is. People always blame other people for shit they don't take personal responsibility. But it's, I mean, the hate crimes against Asians are just shooting through the roof right now in the city. You got people, damn you, how come you're not wearing a mask? Oh, go back to your country. And dudes like, I was born here. Man, people just ignorant.
Well, yeah, you have got that band of ignorant people which you're gonna find no matter what and like the financial crisis, they'll blame everyone else, but won't look at themselves or their own sort of actions and responsibility, and take no responsibility for themselves. But it's easy to blame someone else. For example, when it was first kicking off, this British guy, he had no idea he had COVID-19. He went to a conference out in, I think it was Singapore, might be wrong about that, or Hong Kong, came back, went through it, like because of the nature of his work, he traveled. So he went through Italy, France, and basically I think he came back here and they went, oh, by the way, you've got a temperature, what's going on? Checked him, had it, and like he was in places where he's meeting lots of people, you know what I mean? Nature of the time right then, handshakes are plenty, and like, yeah, no doubt he spread it. And like, this is a British guy, like straightforward, like, you know what I mean? Look like your common, like sort of middle-aged white British guy, businessman, you know what I mean? Wasn't a Chinese person, no. But the whole thing is, this virus, it don't give a fuck about who you are. Don't give a fuck about what race you are. And like, yeah, now, like, yeah, it started off in China, and I look at China and go, well, when everything settles down and calms down, you guys have got to answer to a lot of fucking questions, because but right now, doesn't matter. Like, it's out there, it's out in the wilderness, and like, if you get it, it's not going to necessarily originate from someone who was like just came from Wuhan. It's going to be like, yeah, someone who's just randomly bumped into someone else. It's now totally random.
Exactly, you're exactly right. Right now, it doesn't matter where it came from. Let's get through the hard shit first. Then we can talk to China and stuff like that. I mean, but right now, I mean, you running around shouting to the sky, it's China's fault. It's China's fault. Yeah, okay, but what are you doing about it now?
Absolutely.
And it's you got to stick to you got to stay focused here. What are you more concerned about? Where it came from, or how to slow it down, how to stop it? It's more important.
Yeah, and like, this is the thing. the first priority should be like helping like the people who are suffering from this disease, because you know what, like the sooner we can help get them better, if anyone else gets sick, there is space for that person to now take their spot and help them get better to a point where like we can get the population like either that herd immunity going on where antibodies come into place, or when they get a vaccine up and running, which is not going to be for, I think on the near side, a year, 18 months, and that's pushing it through very quickly.
Right. And they got to go through human trials and stuff. And, yeah.
So,
like, who's volunteer to do that? Yeah, shoot me with it. Yeah. That type of thing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like as much as I'm like, okay, vaccines here, let's see how it goes with the trials first before like giving it out to like everyone willy-nilly while they're scared and stuff like that. God knows what it'll do, you know?
And then even if a vaccine comes out, you got to think about the anti-vaxxers who probably aren't going to take it.
Well, yeah.
So there's that too. I mean, the anti-vaxxers are weird. I mean, it's kind of a tragic thing, but kind of funny at the same time in the U.S. because the CDC would be like, don't eat the romaine lettuce. It's going to kill you. And they're like, no problem. And it's like, okay, now you got to vaccinate your kids. And they're like, wait. I think I know my kids better than you. So I'm going to use these essential natural oils like oil of oregano instead. And let's see how that works because that's my kid. Thanks for the lettuce advice, but yeah.
Yeah. And the problem is, and it's because we have been like as a society quite blessed and fortunate that there hasn't been like a major measles epidemic. There hasn't been like, you know what I mean? There hasn't been like an epidemic of polio, which has gone through like communities. Like, look, like oh God, yeah. Like the whole point is like, if you went back like a few generations before we were kids, yeah, there might have been like, you'll definitely know a couple of kids which have died in your class. And like, if you went back further, yeah, you most probably know maybe a third of your class, like, which isn't there anymore. So, you know what I mean? Because of, we've had it so good for so long, these people who are anti-vaxxers and stuff, they don't actually know what the nightmare is of that situation. Like, I wouldn't want anyone to know that nightmare because, like, good God, like that is the biggest nightmare of any parent, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's nothing worse as a parent.
Yeah.
Your kid is sick, and there's nothing you can do to fix the situation. I mean, even like when my kids were teething, you know, it's like, you want to talk about feeling useless? It's like, okay, they're teething, it hurts, they got fever symptoms and stuff like that. They're like wailing nonstop. And it's like, man, I can't do shit in this situation. Like, I can give them that frozen chewing toy to like cool down their gums, but I mean, it's how long? What's that last? Maybe like 15 minutes, you know? And then you start having weird, things. You had like, can I give them NyQuil? No, okay. But yeah, it's you want to feel useless as a parent, go through the teething phase. It's like, oh man, it's just non-stop crying. I'm like, I can't even imagine what the hell you're going through. These teeth are breaking through gums and shit. I don't even know. I mean, we don't remember that stuff. I'm like, it's just, I never had really a concept of it for myself. But when I see it in the kids, I'm like, oh, so that's what that's like. Okay, all right, okay. So I went through that too. Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, the vaccination thing. It's just, I mean, in New York City, the past couple of years, there were some measles outbreaks. Because it'd be like, okay, here's a school, and maybe there's like 2 or 3 kids in the school who have the measles because their parents are anti-vaxxers, and all of a sudden the whole freaking school gets. I mean, they did SVU episodes based on it. You know how SVU does an episode? It's like not based on real life, and you're like, I know exactly what that is. Yeah, they did a couple episodes of that like a few seasons ago because it was getting nuts. Like there'd be like sporadic spots in the city where it's like there's 40 cases of the measles, there's 20 cases of the measles.
Yeah.
And people were dying from it.
Yeah.
Not a lot, but still, I mean.
No, but this is the thing. With this, and we've looked at the numbers earlier with regards to what COVID's doing. This has shut down 80% of the world. It's like sort of business day to day, doing everything. This has impacted lots of families where they have lost people and stuff like this. And the whole thing is, this isn't the worst it most probably could be, if you go to if you throw back and go to Spanish flu and the whole thing about that, there was the first wave, which was pretty much like this. And then the second wave where it mutated and changed. And then it was millions and millions of people died from that. And you know what I mean? This is one of those things where let's keep our fingers crossed it doesn't mutate, it doesn't change and become something a lot nastier. And it helps us get the globe gets its act together for the next one what's coming along, because this is not a thing which is going to go away. It's always diseases are always evolving, they're always changing. But it's a case of, yes, we got to be prepared next time. Because by the time we've paid off this, just the UK alone. That is going to be, wow. It took us 10 years to get over the financial bailouts we did for the banks. And they just started to take off the austerity measures here in the UK. And this, just like the furlough scheme they've got me on, and millions of other people, where they're basically we are on 80% of what our normal wage is, but we're not but we're just put to one side for now. It's looking to cost anything from 30 to 50 billion pounds for 3 months. And don't get me wrong, I don't know if they're going to extend that or what they're going to do next. I can't see them, if they do that again for another 3 months, it's ouch, because it's got to be paid back somehow. And that's going to be either increase in taxes or cut in services. And one of the things I think should not be cut and severely invested in right now is healthcare going forward. You know what I mean? So where are they going to get that money from? Schools, education, police, you know what I mean? Roads.
Spice Girl concerts.
Oh, Spice Girls haven't been big anywhere on the planet for quite some time.
They call it a comeback. They're coming back. It's going to be 97 again. No.
Oh, yeah, let's just simply say, if that happens, we know what's going to happen next. Lucifer and his hordes will be back. Oh, no, God.
He said Lucifer and his hordes will be back.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, you want to hear something crazy? I was doing just some random research the other day. I found out the bubonic plague is still around. People still get that shit.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. I think it's worldwide, maybe just over 1 million people or something weird like that. Yeah, that shit's still around. You could still get it. That is nuts. It's I thought that was gone. It's crazy.
Don't you get the plague from rats, isn't it? Or
it's from it's from the fleas. The fleas will they'll bite the infected animal, and then the flea will bite the human, or in some drastic situation, say the dog's infected, you gotta kill a dog and eat a dog or something like that. Or the dog,
Mm.
it transfers through like saliva and stuff like that. So, so like think about it, like an infected dog, a dog licks your face, you're probably getting it or whatever. Because you know how some people with their dogs are like, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. But basically, it's the fleas that pass around. So, I mean, how typically do humans get bitten by fleas these days?
Well, this is the thing. You got to think about it this way, right? Like in New York City, like the whole rat situation is kind of epic right now.
I
Like,
mean, we could get a bubonic plague in the city just from the rats. I mean, there's some rats. I'm like, oh, that's a cute house cat. And you're like, oh, that's a rat.
no.
That's a big ass rat. And then there's like Pizza Rat. Did you see Pizza Rat? I know you saw the Pizza Rat.
Oh, yeah, no. So Pizza Rat going up the stairs, like dragging up that pizza.
Slice.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
That's New York Rat, baby.
No, yeah. But the one what really freaked me out, like, okay, rats on the subway train, like running through the carriage, people running out of the way, and there's this guy asleep, and like the rat runs up his leg. Unfortunately for this guy, he had a hood on, and it ran up near his face and round, and it's like, oh, guys, I don't. Yeah,
I did not see that.
No, this was.
Now I must. I mean, trust me, I see a lot of rat videos, but I did not see that one.
Oh God, I was like, no.
Well, when I was a kid, my mom would mess with me because in the 80s in the Bronx, there were a lot of like, abandoned buildings or just like buildings that have been torn down and they never cleaned them up.
Yeah.
So you can walk by like just an area of a block and it's just building remains and stuff. It's just junkyards. I mean, it's not really like that now. It's been cleaned up a lot. But back in the 80s, I mean, you watch any of these breakdancing movies and shit, or just any New York City, straight up, any movie that takes place in the Bronx or Queens or Brooklyn in the 80s, it's like Junkyard Central or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But my mom used to say that, like, rats would be in them, and, if you didn't make noise going by to scare them off, they would, like, drag your ass off. And, I'm like 8 years old. I'm like, what? Like, rats dragging humans? So for maybe, like, a good 4 or 5 years, if I walked by a junkyard, I make noise, like clapping, just
like what? Can't make a noise. Oh,
yeah, and I think about how many times I've gone to the movies as a kid, and realize there could have been a rat that just was next to me, just chilling, watching Gremlins, just running over my foot. Got no idea.
Yeah. So, you're gonna love this part. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Like rats laughing at a gremlin, like sit in the microwave. Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know, rats. New York City, they got the rats, but
yeah,
it's like that part of Adventures in Babysitting. Penelope and Miller is like, oh, look at the kitty, and it's like a freaking rat.
No, that's no kitty. That is a big.
Yeah, he's like, like, it's no kitty. That's no cat.
No. Yeah. Oh man. Like.
It says something when like cats are running away from rats in New York City. It's like, where'd that cat go? And then you see like 4 rats chasing it. Like, that's where he's going.
Yeah.
At least he can climb a tree.
Yeah. The answer to New York rats problem is you need to get bigger cats. So you need to get mountain lions in.
You can get bobcats and lions just roaming the streets and shit. I'm telling you, the streets are empty now. It's almost like I Am Legend. There's like deer running around and shit, and elks and stuff. I mean, there are reports of all over the world. I've seen videos of just like, I saw one video yesterday. I don't know if it was Italy or something like that. There was like goats running through the streets of the city.
No, you know what? That is Llandudno. Like it's a seaside town up in Wales. Like my lady's grandmother lives out there. We went and visited her last summer. So basically, there's a thing called the Great Orme, which basically it's a weird bit which just sticks out, and you can go around the path, like a road around it, and like it's rather sort of disconcerting because when I went running, like the wall is like up. It's just below your hip height. So if you had to move out of the way or jump out of the way in case a rock came down,
over the wall.
Go over the wall, and then there's nothing there except cliff and sea. That's it. And it's like that all the way around. So it's like, okay, I'm running. I don't want to think about it. Not thinking about it. But they have goats what live up there. So the goats, because there's been no one around sort of like messing with them or like, you know what I mean? Just sort
He's
of like
having a big ass
scaring
goat
off.
party.
Yeah, but the goats like just start to wander down because
walk around with shopping bags and various cheeses.
well, yeah, attacking all the local fence like hedges and bushes and stuff like that, and having a whale of a time. Yeah, yeah. But I'm not gonna really like. If I was there, I wouldn't be messing with no goat. Oh, well, okay, goat, get the fuck out of here. No, you want to stay there? Okay, no worries. You stay there, goat. It's all good.
You eat that tin can, goat. Eat that newspaper.
Yeah, just.
Yeah. So, yep, that's about it. Remember, bubonic plague.
Nah.
Now you're gonna Google it. You're gonna Google it as soon as you get off. I'm telling you, man, it is crazy. I didn't look and see how many cases in the U.S. there are, but you know what it was? I was watching that Paul Verhoeven film, Flesh and Blood. Remember that? It came out in the 80s with Rutger Hauer and Jennifer Jason Leigh. And I saw that when I was a kid, so it was on the other day, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't seen this in forever. And then they had that whole part to the plot where Rutger Hauer's gang gets all infected by the plague and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because they had like the dog, like at the war camp, like drinking the infected blood, and then he got sick, and then they took the dog and cut it up and put it in their water. So I'm like, bubonic plague, huh? And then I just looked it up and like, ooh, it's still around. Hey.
Yeah, but yes, the plague still exists. Here's what it's like in the US.
Oh, that's a recent article too.
Yeah. Article 25th of November, 2019. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, okay. So, yeah. So, yeah, the humans get it through the animals to infect animals. So, rats. Yeah. The plague could just like, child in Idaho is recovering. Yeah. It is nuts.
Thank God.
Yeah. Black death. That's right.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Okay, so what's that say? Since 2000, the CDC has received reports of 1 to 17 cases of the plague per year. In 2015, 16 cases of plague were reported. And in 2016, there are only 4 cases. Okay, so maybe it's not like a million all over the world. I don't know. I looked on Wikipedia. I didn't even know it was an actual like recent article. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, but
plague.
But this is the thing. Like you heard how that wrecked Europe back in the day. You know what I mean, you expect that type of thing to be long gone, but it's still around.
Yeah, I'm sure smallpox is still around. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that's still
around. Oh yeah, but you know what I mean. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to think about that.
Yeah, I believe, was it smallpox? Yeah, smallpox. I believe that's the only thing which has ever been taken care of by the human race, because it was a case of wherever it sprung up, because I believe it's smallpox, I might be wrong, because smallpox copies itself perfectly. Now, that was the thing, that's one of its gifts, but it's its downfall, because okay, right, gotcha.
Would it never mutated?
No, it's not like HIV. Like basically, when it makes a copy of itself, it doesn't make a perfect copy of itself. So if you're coming up with a treatment for it, it always will have some type of little mutation, which makes whatever treatment ineffective. And like I'm going off a documentary I watched years ago. So that's why like HIV was such a problem. Now it's kind of HIV, it's still a problem, but you've got people which are, as long as they get their medication, they're not even testing for it, if you get what I mean. They show up as like, clean. Is clean the best word to use for that? But they show up as negative, I should say.
Okay. All right. So that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Diseases are just I don't know. I know we're gonna get through this. The thing that sucks is that this before we even get to like a plateau, before we even see like the light coming out at the end of the tunnel, there's gonna be a lot more deaths. That
Uh,
sucks.
That, there might be a little bit more of a road of suffering ahead for us, but you know what? When we get through that, we're definitely going to be on much more of a positive upswing, no doubt. Yeah, but yeah, next, like you know what? I would like to get you on the podcast again, say next month, but yeah, talking about something maybe a little bit more cheery. Perhaps, yeah,
Oh,
you know
like
what I mean.
acne or something?
Hey, possibly, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Sure, if we could share a story, we can have a whole retrospective of Camp Hayden Marks.
Well, yeah, I'd
We'll
love
see.
that. Yeah,
I
Camp
still
Hayden Marks.
tell I still tell people stories of the stuff that we did.
Yeah, like you know what? I remember that. I remember that night when you freaked out. I think it was your third encampment, like that campus where you just were like lying on the floor,
Yeah,
pretending.
explain it to the people how the camp worked. Go ahead.
Like,
Well, I mean, like with the encampments and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, no, basically it was the way it was laid out. You had 4 encampments for the summer, all of them being 10 days long, and
Yes.
where you'll get different kids every time around. Like some, on rare occasions, you were switched with different people in, like different counselors in your cabin, but it was generally a partnership all the way through.
I remember
And
I had Eric. I had
yeah,
Eric as a partner, and then he got a teaching job in Ohio. So basically, he was with me the first encampment, and then the next 3 encampments, I had the kids alone.
yeah, yeah. It must have, wait, was it the
Yeah,
first one? Because like yeah, because when you freaked out your kids by pretending you were all laid out with some
yeah. He left. He left after the first one, and then it was just me and the 6 kids. Whereas everyone else, every 6 kids, there were 2 counselors.
yeah.
I had 6 kids by myself for 3 encampments. I'm surprised they never put anyone else with me. They're probably like, oh, he can handle it, or they're
Mm,
probably like, F him. I don't know. Who
yeah,
knows? So yeah,
because I
kids
found
were acting up, and I had to be creative. Luckily, they're city kids, and they were born in the '80s and stuff, so I can use angles like the power of Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger in the woods. So because if you want to set a kid straight, you just take them to a certain area of the woods and you have your boys put a hockey mask on a branch out there and like, you see that? Shit, that's Jason. We got to get out of here. You know. But yeah. I recall the kids were bugging out, so I
yeah.
had to. It's really bad because I probably created some serial killers in the day. And I didn't know it. I'm just trying to keep these kids in check without strangling them.
Okay.
But yeah, what happened was they were
Yeah,
messing
well,
around. So
yeah.
I had the theater makeup, and I put the red theater makeup around my mouth, and I had this like special mouthwash that was red. So I was laying on the floor waiting for them to come back. I forget, they all went to the bathroom because we had to make them go brush their teeth and everything. So they came back, and I'm just like laying there, and they got the flashlight on me. It was an Oscar-winning performance. I don't know how I wasn't laughing. I don't know how I kept my eyes open and didn't blink. I have no idea. I couldn't do that now. I'd just be cracking my ass up.
Yeah.
And one of them touched me, and I like coughed up like the mouthwash like splattered all over my face.
And you know what? And I was there. I was in the bathroom section with my camp, like my cabin, and like Eric was walking through, and like he looked up, like they're all losing it, and it was like, you know what? You got to put them to bed yourself. It was like, no, he just went, no, I'm out. Bye bye.
We had to be creative, man, because we got these city kids, and I'm a city person, so I'm like, look, that shit don't mess with me. But the fact is that we had a lot of counselors that didn't grow up in the city, and then we had counselors like you didn't even grow up in the U.S.
Hi.
So you got these like badass Harlem and Bronx kids, and they're all like pushing the limits and stuff. I mean, they're not all bad, but they test you. They test you, so you got to come up with creative ways. Like, remember how you used to be like, oh man, that snake bit me in the woods, and had like some ripped up bed sheet with like the paint in it, and like, I just came from the nurses, man, and won't stop bleeding. These snakes. And had to do all this crazy stuff. Just to keep me in check. I think about it now, and I'm like, I literally, there's kids that are having counseling because of me, but they don't listen. Like, stop that, stop
Yeah.
that, stop that, stop that, stop it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is, tell the lovely people once again where they can actually find you, how they can get in contact with you through your...
Bring your ass to New York and just holla at a brother, be like, yo, yo, in the sky, and I hear it. No.
Well, you can do that. Good luck to you. It's like...
You can do that, but people just walk and look at you like, what the hell's wrong with this person? They're just yelling in the sky and stuff, trying to get people. You can catch me on Twitter. The handle is at social_chef. So social_chef. Twitter's interesting. I'll just keep it that. You can catch me on Instagram. It's Maribito, Marebito.
Yes.
And that's basically the best spots to catch me. I'll give you some laughs. I'll do some serious stuff. I'm kind of a clown, but at the same time, I get really serious, which is interesting because I usually make people laugh so much that when I get serious, they don't know how to handle that shit. And they're just like, what? Like he's doing that Black Power shit. What's going on, man? I'll crack a joke the next day. I'll crack a joke one day, the next day, like, how many Black people got shot by cops? And they're like, what? I'm just like, it just changed the tone. Yeah.
If they start laughing, we're cool, aren't we? We're cool.
I'll be serious, and then the next day I'll be like, who's the better Madonna, 80s or 90s? It's just like, you just don't know. You just don't know what you're gonna get. Have you seen the stuff I've been doing lately on Facebook? Because I've been showing like old movies to kids. The thing I said about when Mrs. Doubtfire and Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of got this thing going on where we watch a lot of movies as kids, and we're like, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. And then you watch that same movie, like 30 years later, you just what? So we were showing Landon's 11. We're showing him Mrs. Doubtfire, and I wrote the caption. I said, me watching Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993. I'm like, man, I can't believe Sally Field was so pissed off at Robin Williams for throwing that party, man. He had House of Pain in there. They had animals and stuff. They're having a good ass time. Why she got to ruin it? And then I said, me watching Mrs. Doubtfire tonight in 2020. I'm like, kick him out of the house. Dancing on the tables, dancing on the couch. There's a kid in the kitchen swinging from a chandelier. F that. Kick his ass out. Divorce him now. Get rid of him. That's some bullshit. Just how we change. It's like Gremlins. Watching Gremlins the other night. It's like, man, 1984. I'm like, wow, these Gremlins, they can break dance? Yo, that's fresh. That is so fresh. Then now I'm like, Billy Peltzer is a piece of shit. He gave those damn Gremlins the chicken after midnight, and they killed how many hundreds of people? That's some bullshit. The whole town was in flames. That's ridiculous. That's freaking manslaughter. Like whatever. That's negligence. He needs to be locked up. I don't care if he's 17. He needs to be locked up. Yeah, that's how it is. Showgirls. Showgirls. I was a college freshman. I'm like, yo. They carded me for this movie, and there's like they just dancing. There's nudity everywhere. Jesse from Saved by the Bell, I love him. This movie is amazing. And then I watched Showgirls for the first time in a long time,
it's
5 or 6 months ago, and I'm just
it's so bad. it's so bad. Like
literally, I should have a disclaimer like the opinions that I viewed in the 1990s do not reflect.
No.
It's so bad. It's so bad. I mean, it's like bad that it's good, but it's so bad. Especially me in the business. It's like the script. I'm just like, I can't believe they gave Joe Esterhazy over $1 million. I mean, but he's coming off of. I mean, come on, man. I mean, think about it. Joe Esterhazy just came off of writing freaking Basic Instinct.
Yeah.
Okay? This dude was like untouchable. Then you got Paul Verhoeven, who I'm bringing back because we're just talking about the play with Flesh and Blood. But think about it. He had 3 blockbusters in a row. He had RoboCop, Total Recall, and then Basic Instinct. So once Showgirls was coming out, you're like, yo, Showgirls is gonna be slamming. Now, if you're between the ages of like 14 and 19 and you're a dude in the 90s, Showgirls was slamming.
When you like going through the whole hormone thing, you like, I watched it and was like, yes, I'm very appreciative of it. But when you sit there, Thank you, bravo.
I'm like, I need this on VHS now. I need it on Laserdisc now. I don't have a Laserdisc player, but I need it on Laserdisc.
Yeah, but like after you have a cold shower and like that your brain came back to you, you went, I just watched a really bad movie.
Yeah, my cold shower was like a 20-year period. It's just like,
it's like, all I've got to simply say is, like, if you did have that on VHS or Blu-ray, all you would do would be skipping most of the dialogue to certain parts. That's all I've got to say.
I want to know if there's a director's cut because sometimes a director's cut saves movies, like Batman versus Superman. I know that is a big mess. That is a huge mess. I still love it because the Trinity is on the screen. Okay, I never thought in my lifetime I'd see a movie with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I don't care. Just that part when they're just standing there and the guitar music is playing, I'm like, this is badass. I can skip the rest of the movie. It's all right. But if you watch the director's cut, there's a lot of stuff that makes sense. Yeah, it's almost an hour longer, but the director's cut makes so much more sense. Is it still an awesome movie? Not really, but it's a lot better than the theatrical. There's like certain things that happen in the theatrical version where you're just like, what? But when you watch the director's cut, I'm like, okay, I see why they did that. Yeah, I need a director's cut of Showgirls, man.
Yeah. No, but like this.
I'll give it one more chance. If there's a director's cut.
I mean, you know what? All I've got to say is, I'm sure you will give it one more chance. Just because of reasons.
I'll give it one more chance. It'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning. Be like,
just like, just like praying to God none of the kids walk in on you. They're like, Dad, what are you doing? Nothing. Get out of the room.
Remember that show we showed you, Saved by the Bell? Yeah.
Daddy's just watching a special cut.
I will say, I think it's very unfair that Elizabeth Berkley's career basically got derailed because of this, because the script was just, I mean, if you watch the movie, you could tell that the actors are trying to do the best that they can with the script.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell, you could just see it in their faces. It's like, you're really trying. And it's, I mean, I don't know. It just goes to show like how the brain matures. But I'm going to do more of those. I'm going to purposely watch a whole bunch of like old movies and give my thoughts at that time and how it is now. We just watched Gremlins 2 last night. That's the first time he's seen it. So I'm trying to figure out how to be like, oh, Gremlins 2, but I can't really do it without making Trump references. So I'm like, probably going to skip that one, because of the clamp. So I don't know. I got to figure out something. I'm just going to go through a whole bunch of old movies and just be like, then and now.
Yeah, tell you what, like say second weekend in May, we choose a movie, we both watch it.
Totally talk about it,
and
we talk about how we thought about it back then and then like how it is now. So I'll pick the movie Revenge of the Nerds. You see, I never watched that as a kid. It wasn't really
suck.
I saw it in the theater because in the Bronx, it was really, in New York City in general, it was really easy to sneak into movies. You could go to a multiplex and see one movie, and by the time it's the end of the day, it's like, I saw 4 films, because they didn't care, man. There weren't ushers going in there. The ushers were just making sure nobody was either like, this is going to sound really bad, ushers were going to make sure nobody was either banging or like smoking weed. Basically, it's like, so you're an 8-year-old. My mom took us to see Gremlins.
Yeah.
And then snuck us into Revenge of the Nerds. Now, there's a big difference between Gremlins and Revenge of the Nerds. So imagine you're 8 years old trying to just absorb all this Revenge of the Nerds. I'm not getting any of the jokes whatsoever. When they started breakdancing, I was like, yeah. No. But when I watched Revenge of the Nerds as a teenager, I was like,
put it this way, it's like the first Transformers movie. Like with Megan Fox, when Megan Fox is like open up the bonnet on Bumblebee and like bending over, and like there was like myself, Jonah, and Hayden, and we're like, oh my god, she looks amazing. Oh my god! And there was a boy, there was a father and son sitting in front of us, and it was like, oh yeah, and like I leant forward. I went, when you're older, you'll understand. And like the kids, like Dad just like turned away and just burst out laughing, but because it was just like, it was like,
on that note, I should go on. So pick a movie, send me the title, and I'll let you know if I saw it as a kid. And we can do that.
Yeah.
So you pick.
Okay. Tron, for example.
Okay. All right. You can do that.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, let me just sign us out. Okay, yes. Thank you, my friends. Thank you, my life warriors, for watching, listening to this podcast. Yes, I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. Be cool, be excellent, be fantastic, be all the positive bees you can be. And I'd like to thank my brother from another mother, Mr. Williams.
Peace, baby. Stay safe in the UK, baby.
And yeah, you stay safe in the US of A.
All right,
Goodbye,
love you, man.
one
I'll talk to you soon.
Indeed.
Thank you for having me.
Later.
Later. The family sends the love. I'll talk to you later, man.
Later. Hey.
Peace.
Bye-bye.